Wow, it's Ben Kicks.
What's up, guys? Here with Complex.
Wait a minute. Who are you?
Ben, what's the state of sneaker resale right now?
The state of sneaker resale, honestly, slower than it's probably ever been. But the clothing is where it's at, and it's all good because business is still booming.
Come on now, dog.
Hold on, so what are the best shoes to resell right now?
I think fours, Travis's obviously always, depends which fours. The Nigel fours are good. Obviously all Travis Scotts are sick. And this is where I be buying up all the SB heat from back in the day. I'm buying more and more of it. Came down, I think it's gonna pump again, we'll see.
They said that sneaker resale's back though with like undefeated fours and stuff. Do you believe it?
I think certain SKUs, certain models are back for sure, but it's definitely not what we saw 5, 6, 7 years ago at peak.
So Ben Kicks, he's claiming sneaker resale might be back. He's saying Travis's Jordan 4s are some of the hot sellers. So we're gonna put that theory to the test as we take a look at some of this year's more notable sneaker releases to answer the question, is sneaker resale actually back? First up, Exhibit A, we got the black metallic 5s, which these joints dropped earlier in the year. Some people call these the tax season 5s, but if you recall when these joints dropped, there were stories about people fighting over these. Resale prices, I would say after like a couple of months, skyrocketed, which they're right now, it looks like most sizes, you could generally find them around just under 500 bucks, which is pretty crazy for a general release Jordan such as this one. I would say this sneaker, even through like the limited restocks that we've seen drop periodically, these ones have definitely withheld the price, I would say. So these are definitely going solid. When you talk about the Jordan 5s, especially these black metallics, an OG Jordan brand classic, I think this is just a model which a lot of people that normally even wouldn't wear Jordans like that kind of gravitated towards, which I feel like adds to the success of this drop. This is a great one. For me, I might have to actually call this one, when we talk about Jordan releases, my favorite Jordan retro of the year, at least so far. Next up, we got the Jordan 4 Undefeated, a sneaker which actually just dropped. We were talking about how people have been sitting back, waiting on these, kind of panicking, waiting for their pair to release, which I kind of understand why, as we see prices are slowly starting to dip. So maybe then people are waiting to get their pairs, and as soon as them joints drop, they're gonna go ahead and flip them on GOAT. StockX is what we're looking at to reference prices. You guys can check out GOAT, eBay as well for prices, but to just kind of keep a medium, we're going to be actually looking at StockX prices right here, which is kind of crazy to see that even in like a size 12, we see these are listed at under 400 bucks, which is kind of crazy to think, right, for a sneaker like this. And my guess is that as more pairs continue to drop, as we have the Sneakers app rumor release, that we're probably going to see these prices decrease even more, which is great for a shoe like this. There's also concerns about quality control issues, which we've touched on previously, but it's just kind of crazy to think, you know, one of the more popular Jordan models in a 4, a history and a legacy such as Undefeated, the sneakerheads are actually kind of able to obtain these for a decent price. I feel like prices are going to even drop even further. Then you got a sneaker like the Lil Yachty Concrete Boy Air Force One, which coming off that first colorway, which was a little more plain Jane. You also have the controversy with the whole complex sneaker of the year panel and everything like that. But as far as this one, a call back to those early 2000s days when they were dropping them patent leather Air Force Ones, the Bapesters and everything like that. I think that's what kind of drew people towards these. Of course, you got the vibrant colors, but again, this is one you're probably seeing all over your Explore page. This is a sneaker which I feel like the normal audience, which doesn't gravitate towards Nike and Jordan releases, kind of fell in love with these right here. You also do have to factor in the limited availability, as it was rumored that these joints were extremely limited. But when you talk about prices, my mind is absolutely blown to see that you got these exceeding the $500 mark, creeping up on the $600 mark, which is absolutely insane for these. And kind of curious to see what direction Lil Yachty takes his next Nike or maybe even a Jordan collaboration, what direction he decides to go in. Moving forward, we have another surprise right here in the Pharrell Addy Star Jellyfish. Now this one right here is supposed to be rumored to be limited. Retail price, hefty, coming at 300 bucks. But when you talk about these resale prices, like these are absolutely ridiculous, going for over 1,000 bucks plus, which at the end of the day, I know this sneaker hasn't dropped just yet, but the retail prices, or my bad, the resale market right now is looking crazy. My guess is we will probably see prices drop a little bit, but I haven't seen a sneaker selling for this much definitely in quite some time. So cool to see that Adidas definitely has a hype release that a lot of people seem to be excited for. And then that brings us here to the shoe, which many people would call sneaker of the year. We got the Nigel brick by brick. This one has steadily been just increasing. It feels like creeping up month after month, which at one point these were selling for like around $400. I'm sure a lot of people were probably disappointed that they didn't buy in at that time, because now you guys see here some prices going up for $700 plus in bigger sizes. I feel like this one may continue to creep up, and before you know it, we may have a shoe which is reselling on the market secondary for like over $1,000 plus, which is absolutely mind-blowing. But it's just a sign of like how popular what Nigel did with this drop the storytelling. These are probably also limited at the same time, but this is just a great shoe. A lot of people are out here rocking these, and again, it's one of those shoes which is in the conversation for sneaker of the year, which that boy Ben Kicks, he said the Jordan 4 was one of the best sellers, which he wasn't lying on that one. But then on the other hand, you got a pair like the White Cement 4 is an all-time Jordan brand classic, which is selling for just like above retail. And when you talk about this one, it's not because it's a bad release. Like actually, a lot of people said that this was like one of the best Jordan 4 White Cements that we've seen, you know, in like decades or so. So when you talk about this shoe right here, it's more so about the rumored stock numbers, which they were saying this is one of the biggest Jordan retro releases of the year. And based off these resale prices, which I thought would never go this low for a sneaker like this, I feel like it's definitely a testimony to just how many pairs Jordan Brand drop when you talk about this release. And I'm always for Jordan Brand flooding the market with particular releases. And when you talk about one that has such a high demand such as this, I feel like that was a great move by Jordan Brand. We always complain about the shoes that we can't get, but we got to show Jordan Brand some love for actually doing this one the right way, which then brings us to more limited releases, because you got shoes like this, which they dropped in abundance, but then you got shoes like, say, the Ferrari 14s, which were limited. You also got these Steel 10s, which were rumored to be limited as well. And as you guys see on the resale market, it kind of reflects that. When you talk about a shoe like the Jordan 10 Steel, nobody would expect this one to like have huge resale numbers. Many people were even saying that these joints could sit, but due to the limited availability, we are seeing these joints actually slightly sell above retail prices, which I feel like at the end of the day, it just kind of shows that like the stock numbers play a huge factor. When Jordan Brand drops a whole bunch of stock for a particular release, Nike, Adidas, whatever brand, when they drop a whole bunch of stock, it's going to be really tough for these resellers to hit these resale margins. Sometimes they stay away from them, which is why we have certain pairs which just like kind of sit on shelf, which this image right here was going viral of the Jordan 1 shattered backboard. If you guys are wondering if these are sitting, this is actually not in the States, but this image actually comes from Australia, which this comes from Redditor Nike Collector 13. So overseas, these joints are sitting. As you guys know, Jordan 1s may not be as popular as they once were, but I guess it's certain colorways and just based off the limited availability as far as like resale value and all that. So I feel like nobody's complaining. This image right here is just so nostalgic to me, like back in the day when you could just walk into like any, say, local Foot Locker and pick up a hot new upcoming Nike or Jordan release like that. So I'm not mad at this. Resellers, they might be mad at it. When we talk about the state of the sneaker resale game currently, do I feel like resale's back like that? Absolutely not. When you talk about like 2018, 2020, those were the real resale days when you could pretty much just like cop any Jordan retro, sit on them, and more so than likely, they were gonna go up in value. Everybody was getting rich off the resale game back then, but now it's kind of stabilized. It's kind of back to where things were. And although there are gonna be certain releases which are a lot more limited and popular, which obviously are gonna hold resale value, but when you just talk about your standard everyday Jordan retro, all of them having resale, nah, it ain't gonna be like that.